What happens when an undercover owner books a suite at his own hotel? What secrets will he uncover? What truths will be revealed? This is a story of ambition, humility, and the power of perspective. A story that reminds us that sometimes the most important lessons come from the most unexpected places. Meet Landon Reeves, a man who had built an empire from the ground up. Landon was the owner of one of the most luxurious hotel chains in the country, the Sapphire Haven. His hotels were known for their elegance, impeccable service, and attention to detail. But Landon wasn't just a businessman. He was a dreamer, a man who believed in hard work, integrity, and treating people with respect. Or, at least, that's what he thought he believed. Landon had always been hands-on with his business. He knew every detail, every corner of his hotels. But over the years, as his empire grew, he found himself spending more time in boardrooms and less time on the ground. He had become distant from the very people who kept his hotels running, the staff, the ones who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure every guest felt like royalty. One evening, as Landon sat in his penthouse office, he felt a strange emptiness. He had everything he had ever wanted: wealth, success, recognition. But something was missing. He couldn't quite put his finger on it. That's when an idea struck him. What if he went undercover? What if he booked a suite at one of his own hotels and experienced it as a regular guest? Not as Landon Reeves, the owner, but as someone else. Someone ordinary. The thought excited him. It was risky, but it felt right. He wanted to see his hotels through the eyes of his guests. More importantly, he wanted to hear what his employees really thought about him. He had always prided himself on being a good boss. But was he really? Or had he become just another faceless CEO, disconnected from the people who made his dreams possible? The next morning, Landon put his plan into action. He called his assistant Mira and asked her to book a suite at the Sapphire Haven downtown, one of his flagship properties. He gave her strict instructions. No one was to know about his visit. Not the manager, not the staff. No one. He would check in under a fake name, Mr. Daniel Hart. As Landon drove to the hotel, he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He hadn't done anything like this in years. He parked his car a few blocks away, changed into casual clothes, and walked into the hotel like any other guest. The lobby was as stunning as he remembered: polished marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and the faint scent of fresh flowers in the air. He approached the front desk, where two receptionists were busy assisting guests. The first receptionist, Evelyn, was in her late 20s. She had a warm smile and a friendly demeanor. The second, Clara, was a bit older, with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Landon had never met them before, but he could tell they were good at their jobs. He waited patiently in line, observing everything around him. When it was his turn, Evelyn greeted him with a smile. "Good afternoon, sir. How can I assist you today?" Landon returned the smile. "Hi, I have a reservation under the name Daniel Hart." Evelyn typed something into her computer. "Ah, yes, Mr. Hart. Welcome to the Sapphire Haven. You've booked our executive suite. Is this your first time staying with us?" Landon nodded. "Yes, it is. I've heard great things about this place." Evelyn's smile widened. "Well, we're thrilled to have you. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful stay. Let me just get your key card ready." As Evelyn prepared his key card, Landon couldn't help but notice the way she interacted with him. She was polite, professional, and genuinely kind. It made him feel good, knowing that his staff treated guests with such care. But then, something unexpected happened. Clara, who had been quiet until now, leaned over and whispered something to Evelyn. Landon couldn't hear what she said, but he saw Evelyn's smile falter for a moment. She quickly recovered, but the change was subtle. Landon's curiosity was piqued. "Here's your key card, Mr. Hart," Evelyn said, handing it to him. "Your suite is on the 12th floor. The elevator is just to your left. If you need anything during your stay, please don't hesitate to call the front desk." Landon thanked her and headed to the elevator. As he stepped inside, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. What had Clara whispered to Evelyn? Was it about him, or was it something else? He decided to keep his eyes and ears open. The suite was everything he expected: spacious, luxurious, and beautifully designed. But as he sat on the edge of the bed, he couldn't relax. His mind kept going back to the front desk. He needed to know what Clara had said. He needed to know the truth. Later that evening, Landon decided to take a walk around the hotel. He wanted to see how things were running when the owner wasn't around. As he passed by the front desk, he noticed Evelyn and Clara deep in conversation. He slowed down, trying to listen without being obvious. "I just don't get it," Clara was saying. "How can someone like him not care about the people who work for him? We're the ones who keep this place running, and he doesn't even know we exist." Evelyn sighed. "I know, Clara, but what can we do? He's the owner. He's probably too busy with his fancy meetings and parties to notice us." Landon's heart sank. Were they talking about him? He had always thought himself as a good boss, but maybe he had been wrong. Maybe he had been so focused on the big picture that he had forgotten about the little things. The people. He wanted to confront them, to tell them who he really was. But he stopped himself. This wasn't about him. This was about them. About their feelings, their struggles. He needed to hear more. Over the next few days, Landon observed the staff closely. He saw how hard they worked, how much they cared about their jobs. But he also saw the frustration in their eyes. The feeling of being overlooked, unappreciated. It broke his heart. One evening, as he was leaving the hotel, he overheard Evelyn and Clara again. This time, they were talking about their dreams. Evelyn wanted to go back to school and study hospitality management. Clara wanted to open her own small bed and breakfast someday. But they both felt stuck, like their dreams were out of reach. Landon couldn't take it anymore. He had heard enough. The next morning, he checked out of the hotel and returned to his office. But he wasn't the same person who left a few days ago. He had seen a side of his business and himself that he had been blind to. He called a meeting with his senior management team. From now on, he said, "We're going to do things differently. We're going to focus on our people. Not just our guests, but our employees. They're the heart of this company, and it's time we started treating them that way." Over the next few months, Landon implemented changes. He introduced training programs, career development opportunities, and employee recognition initiatives. He made it a point to visit his hotels regularly, not as the owner, but as a friend, someone who cared. Evelyn and Clara were among the first to benefit from the new programs. Evelyn was given a scholarship to pursue her studies, and Clara was offered a mentorship to help her start her own business. They were shocked when they found out who had made it all possible. But Landon didn't want credit. He just wanted to make things right. The moral of the story? Success isn't just about wealth or recognition. It's about the people who help you get there. It's about humility, empathy, and the courage to see yourself through the eyes of others. Because sometimes the most important lessons come from the most unexpected places. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Stories like these remind us of the power of kindness, courage, and standing up for what's right. If this story touched your heart, made you think, or inspired you in any way, let us know in the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from. And don't forget to share this story with others. Sometimes, a simple act of sharing can make a huge impact. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our community. We've got more heartfelt stories coming your way. Until next time, remember, kindness changes lives. See you soon.